We doubling back though, for real. Come here though.
The ATK gang. Investigators say this organization is connected to a string of murders in Jacksonville.
9 people, potentially responsible for 15 murders that we know of, and who knows what else.
Alright, what is up everybody? For the past few months, the most talked about song on social media is the Who I Smoke video from ATK Ants. It exposed the mainstream to the deadliest rap feud that's been going on for years, and it's happening in Jacksonville, Florida. Rappers from there are on a completely different wave, hiding the clues to revenge killings inside their music videos, taking the beats from classic pop songs, and trying to rap the most demonic shit over it. ATK Ants and his crew remixed the classic Vanessa Carlton song 1,000 Miles and flipped it, filming at a plush golf course, smoking cigars, all while dancing to lyrics that celebrate the deaths of their rival. Who I Smoke went viral, hitting 16 million views in 1 month and getting reactions from all the biggest influencers online. So Jax had to retaliate in a darker, more ominous way, remixing a classic Fantasia song, and in the music video, printing out a big poster of 2 of Ant's friends and his blood brother, who died by Ant's side in a drive-by shooting outside the Japanese steakhouse. Ants was the only one in the car who survived. Since then, both Jax's crew and Ants' crew released diss song after diss song towards each other, leaving hidden messages in the music videos.
They found his bones. He was right.
Where is Corbin Johnson? The 18-year-old's parents say they dropped him off last week at a job interview, and they never saw him again.
Left his house Wednesday night. Here's a picture of him behind us. And there's little in the way of clues as to where he might be.
Corbin ass was lost until they found him in that bag.
Corbin Johnson was last seen alive in July of last year. Then last Friday, a man discovered the victim's skeletal remains.
But what makes this situation real cold is some of the folks beefing are literal cousins, blood relatives caught up on opposite ends of the feud. In order to understand this story, we got to go to the biggest city in the country in terms of land size. That's not in Alaska, and that's Jacksonville, Florida. Florida's always had a huge presence in rap music, especially in the last 2 decades, but its biggest city, Jacksonville, never really got any mainstream success until now. And that's all because of these viral diss records between 2 crews. Ants is the face of ATK gang, which mostly occupies the west side of Jacksonville. His rival Jax is the face of KTA alias Kill Them All, which is an alliance between 2 groups, Jax's gang from the north, and Dumbway, a crew from the south side. What's worse about this beef is the amount of mutual friends both camps had at one point in time. Ants and Jax were never exactly close, but they did have mutual friends, such as Kyrie, who right now is locked up with his own father, charged for 2 murders, including the killing of Jax's blood brother EJ. After EJ's murder, Kyrie would notoriously walk around wearing EJ jerseys, taking photos like it was a trophy. He even released an album in 2019, putting images of his dead ops as the cover, like a Mount Rushmore of fallen rivals. Back in Jacksonville, Kyrie had a well-known reputation for demonic antics. He famously tried to organize a team deathmatch in real life with his own cousins who rep the rival gang KTA.
So where you at? I'm gonna do a team deathmatch. Right now? Y'all 2 versus us 2. Look at my cousins. We looking like. My cousin don't want to talk. He trying to act all. He trying to act all hard. Oh, gangsters. They got the black hoodies on.
One of the cousins on that live was named Vaughn. A month after that back and forth, Vaughn was leaving a gas station when his car was ambushed, shot 12 times from a rifle inside another car, sending him crashing into a rental wheel tire shop, where Vaughn was pronounced dead at the scene. 60 days later, Kyrie would drop the music video, and in it, we see him putting a photo of his own deceased cousin, Vaughn, in the microwave. See, the crazy part is everybody that's beefing at one point in time was cool. Kyrie met Ants in the 9th grade. They've been friends ever since, but the rival Jax likes to remind Kyrie that back in 2015, he was hanging with them and even had the nickname Kyrie Servant for his affiliation with Jax's gang Servant. Even Ants admits he was a fan of Jax's music before their beef really escalated, but a series of unfortunate events would draw lines in the sand. Mutuals had to pick sides quickly, at a block party in South Jacksonville. It's in Dumbway territory. A crew led by Lit Quapo, Ants and his gang showed up to the party and get into an argument with Dumbway's leader Quapo. Shots were fired and a bullet grazed Quapo's skin, but Ants and his crew managed to escape the party, leaving Dumbway and Ants' crew on bad terms. On top of that, Dumbway's leader Quapo was already friends with Jax's cousin. This made it easy for Dumbway and Jax's gang to click up, creating an alliance under the name KTA, or Kill Them All, with one enemy in common, Ants and ATK. A few months later, one of Ants' friends was out on a mission, looking to avenge a robbery that had happened to him. He knew exactly where the robber was, on the west side of Jacksonville at Jax's cousin's house, so he snuck into the house, throwing a brick through the sliding door, entering from the back where he began shooting. No mask, no gloves. He couldn't get who robbed him, and instead he ended up killing Jax's cousin, Jarks, and wounding a 9-year-old girl. This was the start of a war. Jarks' death was the catalyst. Jax's cousin being the first death in the beef meant KTA were looking to get revenge swiftly. They needed to make an example. Ants' music was starting to pick up steam. His new song, F That, was getting millions of views on World Star in mere days. Fans were already comparing him to Youngboy. Then a week later this happened.
4 young men were in this car when they were shot. The vehicle pulled up to their Chevy sedan, opened fire, then took off. And one is in critical condition at the hospital.
It's a Tuesday in June of 2018. Ants, his brother, and 2 friends were going to Wasabi, a Japanese steakhouse, for Ants' friend's 18th birthday. Everyone was in good spirits, taking photos. It was a celebration, but little did they know the whole time they were under surveillance. Rivals had found out their location because of Ants' Instagram story. Taking photos outside the steakhouse. Ants even recorded his friends eating inside the restaurant and posted that too, so their enemies waited outside watching them eat, then followed them leaving the restaurant, driving along the highway. When they got to a red light, the shooters opened fire on the passenger side of Ants' car, killing his 2 best friends and his brother, leaving Ants in critical condition. It was a quadruple shooting, and Jax got the news before anyone else did, except he thought Ants was dead. Of course Ants survived, but he lost everything. His brother and his 2 best friends. The attention, however, was helping grow his career, and at the top of next year, in February 2019, Jax's little brother EJ was the next target for assassination. EJ was just 17 at the time, and he was coming home from school one day in his own neighborhood on the north side of Jacksonville, at the Hilltop Apartments. He was sitting on a gazebo in the courtyard of his complex with a friend. The 2 were looking at their phones when all of a sudden, pounding gunfire erupted. EJ and his friend dropped the phone and jumped. Both started running in different directions, frantically looking for cover. A total of 60 rounds were shot in under 15 seconds. EJ was killed instantly. A year later, when the court documents were unsealed, the police named Kyrie as the gunman responsible for EJ's murder, saying that they drove for hours circling the complex parking lot waiting, until finally springing out and unleashing Draco rounds in EJ's direction. Then Kyrie allegedly walked up to EJ, who was on the ground, shielding himself from the gunfire, and executed him at close range, before fleeing the apartment complex in a gray Nissan. The court documents also mention Kyrie's affinity for wearing EJ jerseys, and posting it to his IG page in celebration. Kyrie's bond is currently set at $4 million. For Jack, losing his brother and his cousin in a short period of time was devastating, but 2019 was also the year his music was going to the next level. 1 million views back to back to back consistently, and he was doing it all independent. Jack was a big deal in Florida, but not quite big enough to be touring the country on his own, unlike his rival Ants, who was booking shows in multiple states. Just a month after Jax's brother died, Ants was performing at a nightclub in Waycross, Georgia. Him and his crew went back to the hotel to relax by the pool when they were suddenly ambushed. A SUV pulled up and a group of guys hopped out shooting. Kyrie was there and didn't hesitate for 1 second to shoot back. One of Kyrie's boys, Rollo, died at the pool in that shootout. Only Ant's side got arrested for shooting back. The other gunmen were never found by police. Kyrie would say the quiet part out loud in his song, "Been Dead," where the lyrics go, should have killed me and we hopped out with the K's. Me and Scotty busting back. We was on the same page. That's the same music video. He put his cousin Vaughn in the microwave. A month after dropping this song, Kyrie was arrested for a whole different murder, alongside his father, who was charged with accessory after the fact. Allegedly, they were getting revenge on a rival rapper named KTA Lil Buck, who dissed Kyrie's older brother that died in a van full of Kyrie's relatives when two cars rolled up, blocking them off and put 100 bullets inside the car. Lil Buck was Jax's close friend and a high-priced target that ATK got the drop on, allegedly rolling up at 11 in the morning while he was applying for a job to assassinate him. Kyrie posted to his Insta story right after saying, "I kill a dude, then get my toes done."
Receiving a pedicure with the caption, "Kill a N-word, then go get my toes done."
The war had escalated to a point where no matter where they were, no matter who it was, one side was shooting at the other and the other would shoot back.